What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Constance Carter. And I'm here. I'm talking to an R&B sensation, Juno Award-winning and certified gold-selling international R&B artist, Drew. So he just announced his new highly anticipated single, YNF. I don't know what that means, but we're going to talk about it. And I'm playing it right now. Y'all hear that? All right, so he's been working with teams of hitmakers, songwriters, and producers. He's been out for a long time. And we're going to talk about what he's been doing, what he's been up to, how he's been operating in the world. So you guys give it up. Give it up for Mr. Drew. Look, we got an audience back here. They're giving it up for you, Drew. Yes.
What's up?
That was so dope.
Now,
I've been, as this interview was coming up, I've been listening to your music.
Okay.
And you have some fire, dope music. So congratulations on all your success.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So really the premise in this conversation is really just kind of seeing what you've been up to, where you're at, where you're going, your journey. And that's really what's important is, kind of your journey and how you've overcome obstacles. So let's talk about it. Okay. How long have you been in the business? You gonna drink something? I'll drink something too.
Okay. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
I've been in the business, I would say around 20 years or so. I started out in a group first, and we had our first big single was actually the original of this new single that you just played. So.
Oh, okay.
This is the 20.
You just remade it.
Right. This is the 20-year anniversary. We were managed by Funkmaster Flex, and
what was the name of your group?
Name of the group was In Essence.
Mm-hmm.
In Essence, we used to call it IE. In Essence. So okay. It's when I was in the group. That's when we won the Juno. So we're the group that goes down into history as the R&B group from Canada. So if you ever search R&B groups in Canada, you'll see In Essence pop up. So it feels good to be kind of like a pioneer of that, to kind of, we gave the artists like Drake and The Weeknd and, all these other urban artists from Canada that, hope that, okay, hey, Black groups can do something in Canada and can do R&B and hip hop.
Yeah. So is that where you are right now? You're in Canada? You're hailing from Canada?
Yes, I'm hailing from Canada, Toronto.
Toronto in the house. Big up to Toronto, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. So when you came out, how long were you with your group?
I was in the group for around 10 years, 12 years. Yeah. So
why did you decide to go solo?
We were signed to BMG and we won the Juno here and we were doing our second album.
So tell me, okay, wait, what's the Juno?
The Juno is equivalent to the Grammys in the US.
This man won a Juno, y'all. Give it up. He won a Juno, y'all. That's what's up. Yeah. Okay.
So it's the equivalent to a Grammy in the US. Okay. So after we won the Juno, at that time we were signed to BMG, and there was other artists. There was a urban roster, and they dropped their whole urban roster. Oh. So we had finished our second album. We were about to release the first single, and they dropped all of us. And they sent us an email to say, we've opted to, basically cut your contract, and that's it.
Just like that. So they don't give you no warning. There's just like
no notice. No, I mean, we were at the height, right? We had just
whole business.
Yeah. We had just won the Juno, and we were at the height. We felt like, okay, we're on the way up right now. And that email, and it just pulled the rug from under us. So it was kind of a weird time. And after we got dropped, we got offered a tour in Europe. So it's like we were touring in Europe, but we knew that after this tour, there was no more deal when we came back to Canada. So at that time, my daughter was very young, and I had been making plans to do a solo project, but it was hard to leave the group. Like I grew up a very shy kid, so the group kind of helped me, deal with being on stage, and it was very difficult for me as a young kid. But what I didn't know then was that it was preparing me for this whole solo move, So we did the European tour. That's when I let the group know that I was going to do a solo project. They were pissed off, and they were like, what? I was like, listen, my daughter's young. I gotta make a move, and make some money right now. There's no time right now, type of thing. you know, and we had, you know, I felt accomplished to a certain extent. You know, we won the Juno finally. You know, we had been a group for so long, and I kind of used that as like, you know, like closure for me. Like, okay, you know what, we got the Juno. We went through this. You know, I was the lead singer of the group, and I did a lot of the songwriting and vocal arranging, and it was a lot to have 5 different, you know, people, you know, their input in songwriting, and it was strenuous. It got. So
you were the Ralph Tresvant of the New Edition, basically. Basically, so y'all broke up for creative differences. Basically,
you can say that. So, and I was the youngest in the group too. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they didn't really like, you know, listening to me really. So it was a little bit of a, you know, an issue. So I had to make that move.
Gotta do what's best for you sometimes.
Yeah. Had to.
You know, sometimes people that start with you aren't going to be the ones that end with you, and I mean, it just is what it is. That's a part of life, but it's also a part of growth, right? And you've grown to a place where, you know, it's now it's time to do me. So how long have you been solo from there? So 20 years ago, started with the group in the Essence, right? In Essence, right. Did that for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you went solo at what point?
I went solo in 2008. So my first solo album dropped at the end of 2008.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it moved very, very quickly. I was nervous, terrified, you know, to put out a solo project. I was, you know, there was a lot riding on it. The rest of the group, you know, I had their support, but didn't really have their support, you know, and they were kind of just.
They're like, yeah, we support you, but yeah, not really, right?
Right, yeah. Exactly. So it was a scary time, but the first single dropped, the one, and radio in Canada just went crazy. And then when we dropped "Stay With Me," the next single, I knew.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
I knew that you know, that was a turning point for me. I knew that I had something. So that's what gave me the confidence to say, you know what, Drew, you can do this solo. You've been doing this, you know, you've been arranging these songs, you've been writing these songs, you've been singing lead. Like, you know, like, let it go. So as much as I miss the camaraderie of a group, and, you know, that whole group vibe is really.
But I'm sure you don't miss the drama.
I don't miss the drama, exactly. and this weighs out that, you know, so I'm happy. Yeah. Yeah.
So for everybody who's just tuning in, this is R&B sensation Drew, and he hails from Canada, and he's had some gold certified records. He's been in the business for over 20 years, and he has a Juno Award, which is actually equivalent to a Grammy. So I mean, you know, he ain't no chopped liver. He ain't no small time around here. This guy, he's out here doing it. So just want to congratulate you on all your success. So have you been on tour lately? What have you been doing in terms of like making money and touring?
Yeah, no, I took some time off from around 2015 to 2018 or so. I was kind of focused on raising my daughter, who's 15 now. She's here. She's around the corner looking.
Hey, daughter.
But I took some time to focus on that. And I kind of took some time to really build some ammunition, you know what I mean? Like really have these records, you know, have these songs and build this body of work. So when I do reemerge, you know, there's no doubt, you know, so I really took, and that's hard for artists at times to take a step back.
Yeah. I mean, how did you support yourself? You made enough money where you can just kind of do that?
Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of government grants for artists in Canada that help us, you know, keep us going. So, you know, shout out to, you know, Factor and, you know, the SOCAN grants, and, you know, there's a lot of Canadian grants that take care of artists, you know, that have, you know, built a name for themselves and kind of help you out when times are a little rough. So that's
you know, I think we're in the wrong country. I'm saying.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was easy, you know, because, you know, we still got, you know, things to take care of. But it definitely helped keep me afloat and give me time to regroup. And, you know, there was a time there when I questioned, you know, should I stop doing music? Should I just hang it up? You know, Drew, you're getting older. You know, you've been doing this for this time, and, you know, at every moment in my career when I've had that question in my head, something always happens. So this is kind of a similar thing. Last year, I was offered this European tour, just basically came out of nowhere. and it was something I wanted to tour more. I wanted to do more shows and really brand myself, with just more live shows. People get it when they see me live.
Right.
And there was a lot missing in the branding of people knowing my face to my name. They knew my songs, but didn't know my face, or there was always that issue. So I just wanted to tour more. And I just kind of, I'm not going to lie, I really started to, started reading more books. I read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. Love that. Have you read that?
I've read that book. Yeah.
That really kind of changed my thinking. And it really, really helped to really change where I was. And when I started to change the mindset and really start to just live in my passion, I found doors just busted open, basically. Wow. So I was working with, there was a school of the arts that I work with that I just donated my time, and I was going to charge the school for me writing songs, this and that. And you know what? I want to give something back to these kids. I love these kids. And I just started working with this school. And a lot of people were like, Drew, you should be charging them. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. I'm like, you know what? This is me giving back. And when that began, I had never done that before. I had never worked with kids, schools, but I wanted to just, change up the scenery and just try something different and not just be about me. Right.
Yeah.
I started working with this school, and that's when this tour came about, and I got to tour Europe.
I just brought you back with that.
It really brought me back. And then after the tour, I got offered to go to The Voice Russia. And then I made it to the semifinals in The Voice Russia. So it's just all these things started to start to pick up some kind of momentum. And that's kind of what's always happened with me. Every time I'm like, no, should I really? And then bam, we get the tour. We get The Voice Russia, and now I have this situation with my own label, Effortless Entertainment. And I have the opportunity now.
Is it your label?
This is my own label, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm going to be signing other artists. I want to put a kids group together, and I want to really build this. But it's like, if you would have spoke to me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'd be like,
you couldn't even see it.
I don't know. I have this.
That's what's so important about like reading and opening your mind to different things. Like when you're limited in your knowledge and in your thinking, you can't really think outside the box. And so having that and pouring into yourself is so important. And then it opens a world of possibilities. That's because I read is the only reason why I even think that it's possible to do certain things. Like if I didn't read a book, I wouldn't even think that half the stuff that I do is even possible. So I get it. I think that's amazing. Let me ask you this in terms of your tour who are you touring with right now?
I was touring with, it was other Canadian artists. So I was touring with DT, the artist, Mo Littles. Who else was I on with? Mel XD. These are all Toronto artists. So it was a Toronto tour, and we got to tour across Europe.
So you tour across Europe. So when you're doing your songs, how many songs are you doing in a set?
I'm doing about 4 songs, three to 4 songs.
4 songs. So you're doing all your songs. Because I always wonder, when you have artists that don't have a huge catalog of songs, do you cover other people's songs when you're doing the tours? Like, how does that work?
No, I have a lot of songs. I've been.
You have a huge catalog, but you don't. Because I know even it could be Erykah Badu. She's gonna throw in, something, some Roy Ayers or something, like something else. Yeah. So kind of get the crowd going and kind of even like Layla Hathaway. She does that, just to kind of make their set a little bit more robust.
Yeah, that's true. So, at times I will touch on some Blackstreet, some No Diggity. Yeah. I will. It'll most likely be in the '90s or like some Stevie Wonder, maybe. So. Right. But it's mostly originals though, because I'm really trying to learn this music and get people on Spotify streaming these singles.
What's the tour life like?
Tour life when I was in the group is different than what it is now.
Talk about it.
I'll tell you that much because I was a lot younger then. With the group, it was
wild.
It got a little hectic. I got my daughter here, so I can't say too much, but it got a little hectic. But now it's different. I've been there, done that, and right now it's about.
You need to write the book about it.
wanna make a movie. I want to make a movie. You know,
Oh,
later on, and after I've reached to the pinnacle of where I'm, striving to. I want to definitely make a movie. Coming from the group, going solo, and then going on to do it. Yeah.
yeah. So what's next for you?
Next is, well, as I said, YNF is out right now, streaming beautifully, by the way. I think we're at 140,000 streams or something in a month.
Congratulations.
So it's definitely moving. We shot the video in Russia, in Moscow, Russia. So when I was there doing the voice, right, I wanted to, have you seen an R&B video shot in Moscow, Russia before?
No, never.
Nah. So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm like, exactly, right? I'm like, dude, like I'm in Moscow, Russia. What the hell am I doing there?
Yeah.
How would it not be dope as hell to shoot a video here? And just the fan base that I got off of being in the show, it's 40 million or so viewers per week. They got a chance to see me. So I'm like, they'd be on YouTube, they would post the performance and then post it on YouTube, and I'm getting 400,000, likes on YouTube off of my performance. So these fans are leaving all these comments in Russia. So I got in Russian. So I got to translate the comments and try to see what they're saying, and there's just so much love that I received out there. They really appreciate, like, I knew being a Black man in Russia, I would stand out. So that's why I did it.
Yeah.
And, and they loved it. And they loved the fact that I was international, coming from Canada, so I just thought it made sense to shoot the video there and show the rest of the world what I saw when I was in Moscow, which Moscow is dope as hell.
I got to get out there. So does anyone ever like confuse you with Dru Hill because you spell your name just like Dru Hill? Do they like?
Yeah. That's happened over the years, but in Canada, no, because Canadians know me now. But yes, outside of Canada, like Dru, like Dru Hill, right? Dru Hill.
if you had a favorite, or who would be your dream artist or musician to work with?
Man, that's a good question. I would love to work with Stevie Wonder. Stevie probably, Stevie, if you're out there listening, brother, let's make it happen, because, I'm not even sure how old Stevie is right now, but I definitely want to.
He's about my parents' age, so he's like in his 70s.
Yeah, he's, so I want to manifest that, get in the, get in the studio with Stevie Wonder. So
Stevie, your voice is everything. So I'm sure if he heard your voice, he would love to work with you. In fact, your voice is so beautiful. Can you give me
that would be it. That would be it. Sorry?
Your voice is so beautiful. Can you give us a little taste of it?
Let me think. I did Overjoyed for my blind audition for The Voice.
Let's do that. Yes.
Oh boy. Over time, I've been building my castle of love. Just for two, though you never knew you were my reason. I've come much too far for you now to say that I've got to throw my castle away. Although you don't believe that they do come true. For did my dreams come true when I looked at you? And maybe too when you would believe you too might be overjoyed, over love, over you.
Yes.
I wasn't really prepared. I wasn't really, ready for that. So
yeah. So you guys, listen. I thank you for being so willingness to play with me. He just did an impromptu. You guys, look out for Dru, DRU. He has a new single called YNF. Let me ask you something. There's a lot of Jamaicans that live in Canada. Do you have a Jamaican background?
I'm Jamaican, yes.
I hear a hint hit.
Well, I mean, the thing is, most blacks in Canada, I should say most blacks in Toronto, background is Caribbean. So a lot of the hip hop music, the rap music, the rappers, R&B singers, most of us have a Caribbean background.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Now you see all these comments. That was fire. That was nice. Yes. Damn. Dope.
James Moore.
Nice voice. Hey, now. Oh, see everybody loving the voice. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Before I let you look, he said, James said that was fire, man. Before we let you go, I want you guys. This is his single, y'all. DRU. You guys, available on Apple Music, right?
Yeah, Apple Music, Spotify.
What else?
Every music platform you can stream it. DRU.
Okay. Every platform. Everybody's like, "Hey, yes. Amazing!" They're loving it. They're loving it. They're loving it. They're loving it. So you guys go out, pick up Drew's album. Well, can you pick up people's albums? Get his CD.
Yeah, get his record. Get his album dropping. The album's dropping at the end of July. We haven't set an exact date yet. And the next single, Can't Get Enough, is coming out very soon. So Can't Get Enough. Up tempo, summer smash. I'm looking forward to that.
Now I got some heavy hitters, and this is gonna rebroadcast later, but I got some heavy hitters on here. So how do they reach you if they want to book you for a show, or if they're just interested in doing business with you?
Yeah, no, hit me up on Instagram at Drew Grange, DRUGRANGE, or you can hit up the website drewgrange.com.
Okay.
Or you can hit me up on Facebook, Drew Grange. So I'm definitely available for business.
Okay, right on. Yeah, Drew, thank you so much. You were absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Your journey is incredible, and you have just been introduced to a whole lot of people. And again, this is going to be streamed again. So there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to know who you are for the first time. We know you're a big deal in Canada, but we can't wait to see you do your thing in the United States.
I can't wait.
All around the world. So congratulations on all your success. And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Take care and God bless.
Take care.
All right.